everything they have to teach us and share with us. There's so much to learn about these animals that we don't necessarily know about, or that they keep surprising us about. And I hope you're enjoying spending the time with these hyena as much as we are. Well, again, huge apologies. It sounds like we're having a few more technical issues than normal this morning, and I believe the picture you are receiving is not the best. So, apologies for that, but seeing as though you may not be able to see the pictures very well, why don't you send me through some questions and we can just chat about anything you like. So if you'd like to discuss something with us or find out something you wanted to know about anything out here, feel free to hashtag SafariLIVE on Twitter and tag your question onto that, or send an email through to questions@wildearth.tv. Well, thanks very much to all of you, and I believe there's a number of you that have actually gone ahead and researched porcupines mating and even found some videos of that. And I cannot wait to have a look when I get back from drive. And again, thank you so much. We really do appreciate all the little things you do and share with us. And aren't we also lucky to be involved in such a wonderful product that allows us to share thoughts and knowledge and research amongst one another, even though we are dotted all around the world in different time zones, different climates, but we're all here together essentially, which is quite remarkable. Speaking of remarkable, I wonder what Mark is up to. He said he could well head over to keep following the tracks of that leopard that, I must admit and come clean, I thought they had crossed into Sibambili, which was a property where we're not allowed to go, but I was in fact a little bit dazed and confused, and they had crossed into Arathusa. So Mark said that he could possibly head across there and continue on the tracks of that leopard. I'm thinking that we could possibly head off from the Hyena Den site in a few minutes, because all is sleepy and calm here, and I would like to try and find some more action. Okay, well, to Inga, Carol, Maggie, and Pam. Oh, what's going on here? What have these hyenas seen? Is there another hyena approaching? I'm guessing that's what's happening. They've certainly heard something. Ooh. Very, very interesting. Well, while we wait and watch, thanks very much to Inga, Maggie, Pam, and Carol for sending through your thoughts on what you thought the fish eagle had caught. And interestingly enough, it's believed that it was a rodent potentially of sorts, or something with a tail, a squirrel or a mongoose. And that's interesting because, as its name suggests, it's a fish eagle that eats mainly fish, but in certain areas they will also eat rodents or squirrels or mongoose, even flamingos that I've seen, so even other birds. Now, this is when I wish our senses were as good as the animals that we are watching, because even though they can hear something and are aware of something, Brian and I are sitting here scratching our heads wondering what it could be. We haven't heard anything, smelt anything, but they certainly are aware of something that's got them very intently focused in a westerly direction. I'm guessing it was audio of something that they may have heard. I'm actually going to drive up there and have a look, because I can also hear Franklin alarm calling, and we can always come back to the hyena den. They sometimes tag along with other animals like impala or zebra just from a safety perspective, because walking around out here alone is not a very safe option. Fork-tailed drongo is hanging around because it knows the wildebeest will, as it moves, chase up little insects, which essentially flush them for the drongo, and the drongo at any moment now will fly down and catch one. So, wait and see. How long will it take this wildebeest to chase up a little insect for the fork-tailed drongo? And as the wildebeest moves, the drongo too will follow along and land on perches nearby, and again wait for easy meals to be chased up. Sadly for the drongo, the wildebeest is not moving enough to chase up insects frequently, but it still will at some stage. Oh, here we go. This is promising now. With a bit of movements, it's more likely it's going to chase something up. Lewis from Buffalo, New York. Welcome on board, and thanks very much for joining us. Lewis has noticed there's a lump on the right shoulder of the wildebeest and is wondering if that could in fact be TB. I'm not too sure. It could be the case, but I'm not entirely certain. I know that the TB is common in the buffalo and the lion, but I'm not sure whether it actually occurs in the wildebeest, if it's a problem for them. Oh, there's the fork-tailed drongo still following. You'll probably see it darting in and out of the shot as the wildebeest moves off. Where has it gone? Oh, there it is in the top left of your screen, and keep an eye on it. It's going to fly off to the right and follow in the wildebeest direction. You can just see the wildebeest's horn and tail wagging there, and the fork-tailed drongo is semi-obscured by some big green leaves in the top left of your screen. The wildebeest has stopped, so the drongo doesn't have to move, but I'm sure as the wildebeest takes its next few steps, we will see the drongo following in its trail. you very much for asking that question, but again, I'm not entirely certain that the wildebeest are affected by tuberculosis. Again, I'm sure a lot of you are already typing away and researching that, so let us know what you think and what you come up with on that topic. But well noticed, and it's so wonderful that you are often the people to alert myself and Brian to these finer details. Brian's got a very small viewfinder on the camera, so it's difficult for him to see some of the finer details. As is for me, I've got a tiny little monitor that I can see exactly what Brian's filming, but it's small and often covered in dust. So the images you are getting are often better than what either Brian and myself are seeing here. So thanks for pointing out and looking closely into the animals and finding those little interesting bits of information to share with us.
Just a second before our chat, let's go to listen to something on the radio. We've got some zebra that are about to leave Arathusa. Sadly, as we've come, I've been following their tracks, and as we come to see them, they're all leaving Arathusa. We've done the entire length of Arathusa. I see the radio stop now. Last station. Pity, because it's a really lovely herd of zebra, but unfortunately, nothing I can do.
Certainly that's local to Madurangala. You go to the Makuru Dam Falls in front of Klanskaya. On the eastern side, there's a spike post ticket. They were forgotten that ticket.
There's the foal. And my timber's on Hoffman. Sorry. Well, we can't go any further south from this. There's a really pretty mare. It's got some incredible shadow striping.
From near every kill is Bala that I see is Madonna Mala. All of it's Madonna's now. All of that, all the kills that I see is Madonna. Easy now, that's right. It's not a good sign for us, Madonna.
Guys are just chatting on the radio and all the kills that they're seeing. We're not seeing any kills, but obviously the way all these other cats are, they are killing. And guys are just commenting that the kills all seem to be male impala, and it is that time of the year. The male impalas are so busy rutting they don't.
On my way, I just bumped into Dovo,
Sorry. That's where that big herd of elephant have gone that I wanted to look for. Also down south. It seems that other guys around the reserve are not having as much of a hard time as we are. They found them at timbers. There was some chat about, I don't know, some incident with those matimbas, but I couldn't catch it and nobody was caught. The thing is that I'm picking up another channel because it's on scan, so I can't talk to them, I can only hear them. And I was hoping I could do that with the Arathusa radio, but unfortunately it's not going to happen unless they're just not chatting on the Arathusa channel. And it was the first time we ever had it on camera, and so this is going to be the second time I think we're going to have it on camera, and this time it is on Arathusa. It's not making its way south off of the airstrip just yet. We might get to actually see it hunting a little bit. It's going to be very interesting. Last night and the night before at Manyaleti, right at the fence line of the camp, some big male lion were calling last night, Brian and Viam. Did Emmanuel go with him? Yeah. And Emmanuel walked down to the fence line and actually saw the lion through the fence. Big male, I'm guessing it was possibly Matimba's. Viam was asking if it could be, sorry, not Matimba's, Salatis. Was it you, Brian, that asked about Matimba's? Brian. And, well, it can't be Matimba's because they south of Djuma. And I don't think they'd make their way all that way up to Manyaleti main camp. Plovers are complaining. But, so, this other character was here somewhere. Let's hope it's still here. I'm sure it was in line with these Impala. To come straight to it, but then I noticed the zebra. I thought the zebra were going to be standing around grazing, but they're evidently quite shy, those zebra. Strange. I'm not seeing it now. There it is. Oh. I want to get to a spot where we'll be able to see it without it going behind bushes. We'll be able to watch it for a little bit. And I want to send the question out there to you, the viewer, wherever you may be. Who do you think this is?
That squirrel has been going on for a long time.
Raising its crest. I don't know if the squirrel's shouting at this bird. This bird is a bird of prey. It's a very active bird of prey. It spends its day walking around short grassland areas like this, mostly open grassland. It doesn't really like to be in very bush areas, very dense areas. And it's a famous snake catcher. Just getting a message from Final Control that there was an update from Arathusa Guides a little while ago saying that the secretary bird killed a scrub hare some time ago and a tawny eagle tried to steal it from the secretary bird. It might be moving out of this low scrub. This low scrub is from a fire. Bush willows, guarries, brownleaf teak, and all the crowns of these trees were burnt off and now they're recoppicing into low bushes. And it's starting to open up a bit, so we should be able to see it a little bit better. It reminds me of a video that I saw a couple of months ago of some ground hornbills chasing a scrub hare down a road in Kruger Park and literally running after the scrub hare to a point where they almost got it, and just out of the blue a tawny eagle came out of the air and snatched it off of the road in front of the hornbills. If we spent enough time with the secretary bird, we'd probably see it catching a lizard or a snake or even a scrub hare. Where have you gone? You're gonna come out wherever you are. Quite a remarkable bird. Enormous wingspan. They soar at very, very high altitudes when they're going from one area to another. Generally nesting in a flat-crowned tree, like the flat-crowned acacias that we get, the umbrella thorn. A very, very large nest. And it's quite interesting when you have secretary bird's nest to see all the remains of different prey items that you find underneath the nest. I think it was up to 8 baby tortoises once, where they must have found tortoise eggs hatching, and they must have just systematically wiped out almost all the tortoises. Oh look, some warthog. Hello pigs. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed at home. This little piggy had short grass. This little piggy had none. Hello, warthogs. Sorry if we're not really going to be... See, now the secretary bird has stopped because we changed camera angles. See the leggings, the black leggings? And then it's got these crest feathers like quills, like a quill pen tucked behind the secretary's ear. Like it's missing a tail feather or two. Very hardened pads under the feet that allow the secretary bird to actually stomp its prey to death. One of the interesting things about them too is that they're very, very aware of opportunities for hunting. And quite often, when there are bushfires, you'll see secretary birds walking through the still smouldering ashes, picking up scorched creatures or creatures that have escaped the fire. Much that they're rare, they're very habitat specific. They can't really move around in very tall grasses, and we just don't have this type of habitat for them. Let's see if we can get a little closer to it again. I'd like to stay with it for a little while, since it is a rather rare sighting. We might have it here every day for the next while, going through the dry season. There's no telling of how long it will stay. And there's also no telling whether we're going to see it again. So I think the opportunity to, in any case, this central road is where it's heading now. It's the road I wanted to go on anyway. We might get to see it in action. A lot of starlings around it. Well, Anna Marie sent a tweet to #SafariLIVE, and that tweet is about wanting to know, how did it get its name? Well, as I was trying to explain earlier, Anna Marie, if you look at it now, if I stop, we're a little bit closer, it's a little bit more open, and hopefully it's not going to move too far away. It was named a long time ago, and I think those feathered legs down to the ankle that you can see would look like black leggings, and the grey waistcoat, and then of course it's got these nape feathers, the feathers that sometimes you'll see it raise those crest feathers, but they, I suppose, were like the pencil behind the secretary's ear. It's all I can think of is one of the reasons why it was called the secretary bird. Its scientific name is Sagittarius serpentarius, a serpent-eating raptor. a unique family of birds known as the Sagittariidae. It's the only one in the family. Here come the plovers. Look at that. They must have a nest nearby. And they are now mobbing it. Let's try and get a bit closer. I think the Sagittarius, I think the secretary bird knows that it's near a nest, and so it's going to probably try and run around and find the chicks. This is the time of the year that these crowned lapwings are nesting. I hope it doesn't find the nest, but we're going to just try and keep up with it and see. They'll probably even knock it on the head. Go too much further just in case the nest is here somewhere. And we'll be able to go back onto the airstrip road. Sometimes the plovers will actually land on the ground. Certainly for jackal and things, they'll do the broken wing like other lapwings. They'll pretend to have a broken wing and they'll flap around on the ground and draw a predator away from their nest. But here, I think they're just, as long as they're bombarding it, what we call mobbing it, the bird can't really hunt, and it'll either, if it can't find anything to eat within close to their nest, maybe the chicks or the eggs, it'll most likely just keep moving away from them. So I'm going to just go back around on the road. South of us on Hoffman and Little Gowrie, guys from one of the other lodges, we're talking about something that was killed by the Matimbas, I think. I don't know if they were talking about Luma male, but evidently something was found dead this morning. Oh, that looks like leopard dung. Must be old dung. Carol wants to know if the secretary bird flies. Yes, it does, Carol. They fly from their nests to their feeding grounds. Their nests would be usually on the edges of an open area in the trees, a flat-crowned tree generally. Even a small tree like this little round one on the left that we're going past, they would flatten the top of that, put a lot of sticks in there, a bit low to the ground. It would normally be a lot higher than that. But yes, they do fly a very big wingspan. They soar at extremely high altitude, sometimes up to 5,000 feet. To know how tall it is. That's probably about 3 foot tall. It's quite tall, Sherry, for a bird. It's a little bit shorter than a bustard. I'll see if I can find a size for you in the bird book. If it's not in the bird book, it'll be in my raptor book. But I can also show you a picture in the bird book. Oh, they are really upset, these lapwings. .4 meters, so that is 1.5 meters, 3.5, nearly 4 feet tall. Let's go forward. Oops. I pressed the wrong button and now the alarm system is activated. No, it's all good. I've done that before and I'm doing too many things at once. Just under 1.5 meters, 1.4 meters, 140 centimeters. Do a quick conversion to inches. 1 meter is about 36 inches. So 48, 50, 55 inches maybe. Granny Billy, Florida. Hello, Granny Billy. Would like to know what is the largest prey item a secretary bird would take down? Probably something like a scrub hare, I would say. Billy, let's try and find it for you in my raptor book rather than in the general bird book, because the raptor book will give a much better page 26, much better view of it. There we go. Crested, or rather, there's the crowned lapwings. You can see these quill feathers, or rather the nape feathers. And yeah, that's not much more I can tell you. I mean, it's probably mostly limited to habitat that is still protected in protected areas, because outside of protected areas you've got too much farming, too much human activity, and they are very sensitive to that sort of thing. Wisconsin wants to know if this is larger than the North American wild turkey. I've never seen the wild turkey. I imagine the turkey is bigger in body, but I would think that maybe the secretary bird stands a lot taller than the wild turkey. I'll need to get an idea of the size of a wild turkey from someone, how tall it is. Weight-wise, I'm not even sure what the weight of the secretary bird is. It's starting to run. I don't want to push it. Oh, yeah. Okay, Lisa's... Thank you, Lisa, for an alternative source of, or rather, derivation of the name from Arabic, sakreter, or something similar, which refers to its hunting abilities. That may be more feasible, and then just Westerners have said, oh, because it looks like a secretary because of the leggings and the pencils behind the ear. I never really bought that story. But quite often we find that names, English names, common names, are a version of Arabic or Persian names from some of the earlier folks that came into areas before Westerners. It's not going to have much luck with reptiles today because it's a little bit overcast. There wouldn't be many reptiles out in this type of weather. Unless it clears up a little bit, starts warming up. I think at this stage it's time to leave it and move on. That was a rather exciting thing to see out here. Scott will get all the news, and when we cross back to Scott, I'd rather, sorry, electrical contractors, Eskom, Exdom. Now I'm dragging something. So, I'd rather get it from Scott, so I'll let Scott give you the news of what's snuck into me on mail. But we'll cross over to Scott, and Scotty will fill you in what he's learned from Cedric. So we're heading over to Scott now and see what he's got to say. And I'll catch up with the news a little bit later, or while you're busy with Scott. I'll see you in a short while. We're going to be wandering around Arathusa. I'll make my way over to the dam at some point. We're right here in front of the lodge. That's why we've got these contractors and the electrical suppliers here. We'll do a loop and I'll see what I can find. See you a bit later.
Welcome back, everyone. And we're just double checking this area for a predator. You can hear a squirrel alarm calling. I'm just trying to establish what it is exactly that this squirrel can see. Now, while we just wait in this area and see if any little predators do pop up, the squirrel could be alarm calling at something small like a snake or a mongoose, or something big like a leopard. Either way, we'll just wait here and see if we get any more clues. And while we wait, I can give you an update. So I know Mark may have touched on it, but what I spoke to Cedric, one of the Arathusa guides, in passing a little bit earlier, and he said that they found a dead lion cub, in all likelihood a cub from one of the Styx lionesses that had given birth around a month or so ago, I'm guessing. We've never seen the cubs, and therefore I don't know too much about them. And it's believed that the Matimba males killed the cubs. It wasn't actually last night that they think the cub was killed. I think it was the night before last when the Matimba males crossed into Arathusa. And you may remember Mark following their tracks yesterday morning into Arathusa. So it's obviously sad news, but it is a reality out here, and males who do not father certain cubs will kill them if they come across them. So that is the norm. And it'll be interesting to hear any further updates from the Arathusa guides. I believe that there were potentially 3 cubs in total, but they've only found the carcass of one. So they're not sure whether the other 2 are still alive or if they've also been killed. Even though they found the one cub intact, I guess, there's nothing stopping or saying that the coalition, the Matimba coalition, wouldn't have fed on and consumed the other 2 little cubs. They will occasionally feed on animals that they have killed. Just heard a vehicle behind us, so I'm gonna keep moving. It prevents a traffic jam. Maybe I'll actually just let Aubrey go past, yeah. Morning, Orbs. How you doing? Hello, folks. How you doing? Good. Where are you heading to, Orbs? Okay. Okay, perfect. Hey. Have a good one. Sorry about that. Just checking which route Aubrey's going to take. And he's going to take a Quarry Pan Road, which is perfect because that won't interfere with our routing to Buffelshoek Dam, which we are approaching. We should be there in the next 5 minutes. And I've told Brian there will be a leopard there drinking when we arrive, and we will watch it drink. Once it's finished drinking, it's then going to proceed to take us to its kill, which it's going to have stashed nearby.
It's a very bold statement.
Yeah, so those are my predictions. I could be wrong. I think I might be wrong. But that's what I'm hoping for. The clock is ticking, and I'm desperate to show all of you a leopard and also see a leopard before I head off on leave later today. It would be a great way to finish off our last drive. For the time being, I will be back. It's just a short break.